And welcome back.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
Welcome back for Season 2, Episode 22 of Beards and Sundries.
Ooh, the podcast rated 5 out of 6 balls.
I don't know about you.
But I'm feeling 22.
For all you Swifties, that was for you, because she's not for me. But, you guys, it is time for another lunch break here at Beards and Sundries, the shop where three gay men with beards do inventory on a new sundry in each episode.
My name is Jay, and... Vroom, vroom.
Beep, beep.
I'm Anthony, and I go from 0 to 69 in the time it takes you to say sundries.
Wow, that's fast.
There's a lot of slow people out there.
And I'm Joe, the pink fuzzy steering wheel cover and matching duct tape keeping my trunk closed. And today's topic is cars. That's right, Beardos. The United States is a very car-reliant nation, and the three of us have fond memories of longing to get out on the open road. Today we will reminisce about the joy of becoming new drivers, what we first drove, what we'd love to drive, and the automotive world in general. Later on, we have a funny email to share with everyone, and even later on, Jay has concocted a game that will get us all the way across the finish line.
But let's talk about that voicemail. Oh, wait. What voicemail?
So much mail with voice.
I opened that mail and it was like that Harry Potter thing and it just screamed at me.
Oh, the howler?
Oh, yeah, that's what it's called. How did you know that? And I didn't know that.
I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't accidentally call anybody this week, so...
And nobody on purpose called us either.
Back to name calling and threats. All right, I'm on board. You listen here.
Do it now. Why did I just cock my pistol?
You cock your cell phone, or else I'll actually call you guys back.
Yeah, I'm going to accidentally call you now.
And then you'll get a real phone call.
You know, there's some of you that we have your phone numbers, and we could sign you up for any telemarketing list we want.
Wait until you start getting texts of cat facts.
You're going to get a lot of DoorDash offers.
Wait until I send you a clip of my cat vomiting on my carpet in the middle of the night like what happened last night. I'm going to start doing it.
I'm going to tell Mike, who's buying homes in my area, that your phone number is my new number and he should call me there.
Hot shingles in your area.
I'm going to hand your number out to the lawn guys that keep coming around.
Actually, I just got home from work today and stripped down and was relaxing on my bed, and a door-to-door salesman came, and I ignored him. And I'm going to give him your number next time.
While stripped down.
While stripped down.
Well, Joe, do you think I could find a voicemail in the sundries aisle?
Oh, great question.
No, I guess we're fresh out.
Jesus Christ.
Now, if you're new to the show and you're wondering just what the hell a hotline is, it's 405-999-2242. So call it and leave us a voicemail. But if you're also looking for some sundries and you just don't know what the hell that means, the term comes from an old English word meaning odds and ends. Now, today it's used mainly in retail for items that don't typically have a group of their own. So, as three very driven gay men with beards, we are using the term to group together the wide range of topics that we cover.
Wow.
Incredible.
You sped right through that, and I should give you a ticket.
Oh.
It revved my engine all the way up.
Crankshaft. You want to check these lug nuts?
Hit the brakes, Joe.
Junk in the trunk.
My lug nuts haven't been tight since about 2012.
If I give it a couple of days, they get tight.
Oh, that's why your wheel's always falling off. Yes,
well, don't you worry. I've always got a spare tire at the ready for you.
So what was you guys' first car?
That's right. Let's get right into it. What was everyone's first vehicle?
So mine was, I grew up in a household of classic car lovers, and so mine was supposed to be a 72 Monte Carlo. But right when I started driving, gas prices magically shot up to like $3 a gallon. And I don't remember why, because that was pre-2008 recession. So I don't remember what it was. But That car got 8 miles to the gallon because it was a 400.
Sitting in the driveway.
Yeah. And so my stepdad was like, you're never going to be able to afford this. So my very first car ended up being a bright yellow 2003 Chevy Cavalier.
Oh my god. You must have been drowning in pussy.
Well, one of them was laying on me waiting for a kiss, so yeah. It had manual windows, and we nicknamed it Chrissy.
For just fun?
I don't know. I think my friend that named it said, she looks like a Chrissy, and that's what happened. And that thing saw a lot.
And Kansas was never the same.
Oh, like Kansas had never seen a tiny twink in a yellow Cavalier before.
It's Kansas, not Santa Monica Boulevard on a Friday night blasting Dua Lipa.
I feel like from 2005 when I got it until 2008 when I sold it, well, when I gave it back to my parents, I'm pretty sure I put 110,000 miles on it.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was 2 years old with 29,000, I think, on it.
Wow.
And you just drove it to death.
I did, but I gave it back to my parents and bought my Honda Element, and and that car, I think my sister had to get rid of it around 250 or something like that because I think it just finally.
That sounds about right for a Honda Element.
Oh no, that was the Chevy Cavalier.
Oh, that made it 200,000 miles in general?
Yeah, Chevy Cavaliers for some reason lasted forever. And I don't know why. I'm pretty sure the air conditioner worked right up until the end. It
wow.
just finally started giving out in, I think her steering gearbox or something went out.
Say a prayer for your sister's box.
Yeah, and it had very little issues. So kudos to Chevy Cavaliers for being just resilient.
Sorry, Trisha. Sorry for Joe's jokes about your box.
Hey, sorry your box gave out, girl. Happens to the best of us.
I don't even know if she listens anymore. This will be a test.
Oh, we'll find out.
She could be like, stop talking about my box. But what she should do is call us on the hotline and ask us to stop talking about her box.
My very first car was a 1987 Ford Thunderbird.
And you bought that when you were 30.
So was the car. Oh, ooh.
Did you get it lubed up real good?
No, he didn't. Quite the opposite, actually.
Oops.
So I love that car. It was a great car. We used to try to cram as many people in our drama club as we could into it before we had our our practice, I guess. And yeah, that car died because I didn't get the oil changed. Nobody taught me about cars at all before I started driving. So when the oil light came on, I thought I was short, like fluid, like radiator fluid. So I basically was like trying really, I just kept being like, this is full, it's full. So I just sort of ignored it. And yeah, so my engine burnt out because the oil didn't get changed.
I just suddenly got this image of Anthony with his hood open at the gas station, just with like one of those gallon jugs. And he's just like throwing it on his engine. And he's just like, ah.
That's kind of, I mean, that was my technical expertise at that point in my life. So yeah, no, that's about right.
On the dashboard, it says check engine, and he's like, what the fuck? It's right there.
And you're pissed off when you're in the store and they're laughing at you while you're looking for blinker fluid. You're like, people who told me to get blinker fluid.
I wasn't that bad. I just really didn't know, like, the basic maintenance of cars. Like, nobody informed me of it. Nobody gave me any information, and I'm a stupid 16-year-old. Like, what the fuck do you think is going to happen?
So I definitely was taught the wild maintenance of stuff, but I never had an old enough vehicle until one point that you had to lubricate your joints around for like your steering and all that stuff. And my 96 Suburban, you had to do that. And it was so funny because my friend was like, all right, it's this. And I was like, where the fuck do I even put this on this truck? I knew this existed, but I've never done it. Now dealerships just do it for me. I'm like, here, take my car. Here's a blank check. Write any number on it.
They will too. They said air filter, $700.
Yeah. You want to change your cabin filter?
They looked at me confused one time because I was like, oh, don't change my cabin filter. I already did it. I did it right before a trip because it was starting to smell like mildew. And they're like, but why? And I'm like, because I'm capable. Don't change it.
So I changed my engine air filter because I knew it would probably be like cruddy and stuff, and that would affect like my turbocharger. But I also bought a cabin air filter at the same time, and it's kind of annoying in my car because you have to like go behind the glove box to change the cabin air filter. So I've been delaying it because it's just annoying. It's not hard; it's just annoying.
Yep, you have to take the glove box out, the lid basically on my car to do that, but
it's very similar on mine, so I'm not surprised.
It's nice to change it and not pay the additional cost of, upcharge and labor.
It's insane how much it costs for them to do it. It was like $100 and some odd at the dealership.
Well, a lot of it's labor.
What labor?
Exactly.
I used to have a Cadillac SRX that the SUV that they had a problem with their halogen lights on them that they would get so hot they would burn the insides up and the reflective inside would stop working, and so you would barely have headlights at night. And Cadillac had been sued multiple times, and in a couple states they were required to pay for it. In my state, you paid for it and then you would submit receipts and they would reimburse you.
Sure.
But in research, it sounds like people had a lot of complications with it. So the headlight fixtures themselves were $800, but with the labor, it was $2,500.
Holy shit.
It sounds like your air conditioner, Jay.
I went and bought aftermarket set, which was $400, and did it myself. But I do understand why
he bought a box of C9s at Kmart in the garden section.
He didn't even put them inside like the headlight area. He just draped them over the front of the
car. How festive.
This is beautiful. It's blue. And they flash, so you'll see me coming down the highway.
I can see it now. Oh, here comes Jay.
I vaguely understand, though, why they charge that much labor, even though I still think it's overpriced and all. But on that car, you had to take off the entire front bumper kit to get to the headlight sets, to take them out, even to change the bulb.
Those are design flaws.
So those, I feel like, at face value, they're design flaws, but I really think that they're designed that way on purpose to discourage people from doing any of that maintenance.
Doing their own, yeah, that's true.
Big headlights.
I would just say dealerships in general, but yeah. Now that you're trying to make me sound like a conspiracy theorist.
I think it's car manufacturers in general. Like, how can we get more money by doing things in all sorts of ways?
I mean, Ford went a little far with the Pinto, but then they reeled it back in a little bit.
It starts to look suspicious when it keeps exploding.
Yeah.
But if you separate it out a little more.
And then when you find the papers about human life and the parts and, that whole thing.
When you find out about what Ford went through when they were like, would it be cheaper to let people die and pay the settlements? Or should we issue a recall?
The question is, can you put a monetary value on a human life? Most people would say no. Ford said, yeah, $11.
So this was also 1980s America, and at the time they were probably doing lines from the table as they were discussing this.
They were crossing lines and doing lines.
They were buying Pintos, so, I mean, what really is their life valued at?
Have you ever been to an oxygen bar? It's like that, but with like vaporized Coke.
It's just literally, there's fans blowing Coke in the room, and so you're just inhaling cocaine.
There's literally somebody in the corner, like, with their tongue out like it's snow, just...
You could taste it. And then somebody has a heart attack, and they're like, give him $11, give his family $11, and move on.
That'll shut him up. Give him the hush money.
Could you imagine sitting down and some guy in a suit, like, opens a suitcase and hands you a check, and it's written out for, like, $11.32?
I could believe that because I got a settlement check from a class action lawsuit. And I can't remember what it was, but it was for like $3.54. And I was like, yes, this certainly has compensated me for this.
I got a settlement from a bank like that where they were basically pushing through, because it was back when I had no money, and so you just had overdraft, and it was basically pushing through your largest purchase first, so all your small purchases would continue getting overdraft fees. And my settlement of all those fees I paid was $7.
It's such bullshit. But now I remember what it was. It was Experian had a information leak. So apparently
I remember that.
Yeah, so apparently I was part of that, and I got my class action settlement for $3.54. Thank God
Whoa.
Nothing actually happened to me.
I got that. That's right. I forgot. I got a settlement from Experian too because I used to pay for it.
Did you get $3?
I think I got $3.
Hell yeah. Let's go out to eat.
I want you to know, though, that I have been in 2 corporate class action settlements, and I've been awarded roughly $10 to $11.
Yay. But let's get back to cars. Joe, what was your first car?
Let's get back on the road to the right topic.
Turn right now.
Blinker.
Recalculating. Quick side tangent about GPS. Can it chill the hell out whenever I make an exit off to a gas station? I know where I'm going. I'm going to the gas station for a second. You don't need to freak out and tell me to get back on the highway. Recalculate. Turn left.
You know, this would normally be a very legitimate concern, except for the number of people I see screaming across several lanes of traffic to try to get to a turn.
Yeah.
I'm just picturing Jay screaming in the car. Ah!
He wouldn't be doing that. He'd be texting.
Yeah, exactly. I'm busy. Leave me alone. Was that my exit? Fuck off. I'll check it out later.
Out of my way, nature!
But honestly, I feel like they could solve that by having a button that pops up that goes, was this exit intentional?
Seriously.
I really feel like that could solve a lot.
So, Joe, what was your first car?
Oh, yeah.
So I grew up liking cars from a very young age. I remember, I think around age 4, my very first favorite car was a red Honda CRX that I saw in traffic and with my family. And I was just remember my little brain was like, "Ooh, cool! It looks fun." So I shared a love for cars with my dad for a long time growing up. We would read car magazines, we'd watch car shows together. And then when I turned 15 and it was Christmas time, we drove up to my grandparents' house and there was a car in the driveway I'd never seen before. And they turned around and they said, "Merry Christmas." And this car was a 1986 Mercedes-Benz 190E 2.3 liter. It was the smallest car that Mercedes made at the time. It was a little 4-door sedan, so it's a great little car to start driving on. I think they did it right because my dad found it for about $1,000. He put about $1,000 of work into it. And we were good family friends with a mechanic who was one of the only actual independently licensed Mercedes-Benz mechanics in the county. So that's how we got a great deal on that. My mom also had to use Mercedes when I was 16. So in turn for doing like all of the repairs to our cars, we would go once a month and clean his entire shop. Sometimes we do some odd jobs for him. We would also get discounts on parts through him. So that's how we were able to have the privilege of driving Mercedes at that time in our lives. I had 3 months between Christmas and my birthday to learn how to drive the car, which I thought was kind of great. It was 3 good solid months to learn how to drive the car. And we named it Sadie, the 80s Mercedes from Hades. That was her full name.
Is that legal?
In West Virginia, it was blasphemous, and I loved it.
Was it on a birth certificate?
Yes.
Oh, I should note that the Thunderbird was nicknamed the Thunder Chicken.
Thunder Chicken.
We thought that was the funniest thing at the time. So, yeah.
Oh, boy.
Shut the fuck up, Chrissy.
It's ironic because you never dropped that chicken in any oil.
You really fried that motor.
What color was it? Was it golden brown?
I need you to call into the hotline and leave hate mail for Joe and Jay.
Was there a dip in the road? Did you have to catch up?
Do you think that engine was original or extra crispy? Sounds like you really know how to choke the chicken out.
Sex.
Do you guys ever wonder what it would be like to just sort of drive and just never turn back? Just keep going towards the sunset. Maybe into a lake.
You could also call in the voicemail and leave more puns for Anthony choking the chicken. I mean, killing his car. Whatever.
Leave more puns for his buns. That's 405-999-2242.
Call us and tell us what you think was in his trunk when his engine burned out.
Well, moving on past first cars, since I hope maybe, I know I haven't heard the end of this, but...
What's our dream cars?
Ooh, yeah, what is your dream car?
I'm thinking back towards what were my dream cars. I don't know if I really... Oh, I do have a dream car now.
So let's think about like when you were a teenager and you're first getting into driving, like what cars did you really want back then? And you don't have to pick a single one because I had a few.
I have 3 that immediately come to the top of my head. 1, I don't care what color. And one of our listeners also agreed with me on this. Dodge Viper. I wanted one so fucking bad.
They're pretty cool.
Was that Jody?
Yeah.
Jody, you were wrong last episode, but this episode you're right.
Jody, call and leave a voicemail about that. And then I really, really wanted a Plymouth Prowler.
I remember those.
I thought that was such a cool car.
But did you want silver, black, yellow, or purple?
I wanted purple.
That was the coolest one.
I wanted a Viper, Plymouth Prowler, and I really, in high school, this came out, and I wanted well, technically, Saturn and Pontiac did this, but it was the Saturn Sky or the Pontiac Solstice.
The Saturn Sky was cooler.
And I went for Pontiac more because I knew more about Pontiac than Saturn, but I thought it was such a cute car.
So this was a time in history right around, this is like 08, 09, right? When those kind of came out, like 07-ish.
I think 07 was when I really got into it, but then, you know, they were kicked out in 09.
This was when they started to pull the plug, which was so sad because not so much Pontiac, I guess they were starting to get great too, but Saturn was really coming into their own and they were getting some really great products. And then they had the rug ripped out. And it was such a shame because they were making some really great cars at that point.
They had great entry point vehicles. Like you could get into a car for really inexpensive. They were so accessible.
The Saturn Ion was an amazing entry car.
My friend had an Ion Redline and that car was so fun to drive.
Yeah.
Oh, I was just saying that, but even though Saturn and Pontiac were so popular, they were just the least profitable car, and then 08's recession hit so hard that they were required to yank out some stuff after the government bailout, so, which was unfortunate because Pontiac had just been around for so many decades.
Yeah, I really enjoyed. My parents had owned a couple of Pontiacs, but specifically they had a 99 Grand Prix GTP, and that car was a pleasure to drive.
That was a great car, and I thought they were so pretty.
And it had a little heads-up display, which for 99, big
that was
fucking deal.
Groundbreaking.
Since those were my dream cars back in the day, my current dream car, which I don't know how I got here. My ex and I, we owned a BMW briefly before we broke up, and then he totaled it. And so I ended up loving that car.
Also, Jay, what was the monthly payment on that BMW, just for our listeners?
Okay, so I did not pay this. I would never pay this on a car, but it was $1,250 a month. And we had originally put $30,000 down on it.
Whoa!
You put down $30,000?
You could buy an entire car for that.
We were on a 5-year note after that, too.
I'd rather travel with you to the airport with 15 minutes left aboard.
I would, yeah. I'm less stressed about that than I am about $30,000 down for a car.
When we were buying it, like, I just looked up and I'm like, this is what you want to do. I need you to know that if something happens to you financial, like your job, I said, I am not covering this. We will sell this car. I'm not going to do it.
I don't think it's affordable to do that. You're paying another house payment.
Not on just my salary, not with a mortgage and my car and normal payments and then that. No, that is not in my budget to survive.
Yeah, when Joe had that $500 payment for the Civic, I think that's like top end for us. I don't want to pay more than that for a car.
Yeah.
My current car, I did a 4-year term on it, I think, and I bitch that I pay $560 a month. I think that's way too high.
I mean, you did a 4-year term though. That's really short.
I did a shorter term, so I feel like I'm doing better because I'm cutting back that interest. But that BMW did make me go, oh my god, I kind of like these. So my current dream car is now the newest model of the BMW X6M.
Oh, okay. I know which one that is.
Gorgeous car. They have I mean, if you're getting the M series, you're getting an excellent engine. My biggest flaw with that BMW that we had was the worst wireless Bluetooth ever. I do love the car, but it's only $126,000.
Oh, that's nothing. You start at 30,000 down, and then just make a 4-year note, and then sell your kidneys, both kidneys, all your skin.
That's about what we paid for our house back in 2013. So
I bought my current 3-bed, 2-bath house that's just shy of 1,500 square feet for $140,000 in 2015.
So to rope it back in to favorite cars, dream cars. I remember distinctly there were a few cars that I really wanted when I was a teenager. One was a mid-late 90s Mustang. I remember seeing the commercials for it and seeing like the cool little like 3-layered taillights whenever they were laying.
That's when the Mustangs were like radical and like Baywatch and like sexy.
Yeah.
Yep. Right during the Craft era. And Nancy had one in the Craft and I wanted that car.
It is so funny to look back at 90s cars that we thought were so attractive at the time.
I mean, I thought it was like the best thing ever. And then to stack on top of that, the other car that I really wanted during that time period was a Trans Am. Those newer Trans Ams that had all the like bubbly hoods with the air intake and everything that was on there. And
that was so fucking hot.
They were a dime a dozen in my high school parking lot.
They had that tail light that went clear across the back.
Oh, yeah.
And it like at that time that looked so hot. I'm wet.
Whoa!
Oh, I hope my tires don't slip.
Don't tread on that one.
This is my favorite episode, 100%.
Anyways, the third car that I wanted was a Chevy SSR.
Oh my god, yes! I wanted a yellow one at one point.
The half truck?
Yes, yep.
The convertible truck?
Oh my god.
Do you remember the commercial?
Yeah.
Where they're driving behind that trailer on like a semi and they whip
it around and then back
and
up.
Throw it in reverse and back it onto the trailer while they're driving?
Yep.
I could only see myself doing that from then on. I was like, I'm so fucking cool. I bet I could do that.
So in 2011, when I moved to Oklahoma City, I lived in an apartment complex that was a little sketch. And I remember in the last few months that I lived there, somebody owned a yellow SSR. And I was just like, I'm a little bit jealous. And I don't know why.
Did it have like a carpeted bed?
I don't remember that. I just remember it was a convertible.
Yeah, and it is a convertible top as well.
Yeah. Because doesn't the top back like fold it into the bed because it's a hard top?
Yeah, it was a convertible hardtop truck. And so it would fold, I think, into the bed. That seems right.
Yeah, I feel like that's right. I haven't looked at one in ages, although I do feel like I saw one on a lot somewhere the other day.
Okay, Anthony, any more dream cars?
Oh, no, that's the last of my teenage ones. My modern dream car, there's really two that I would really like to have, and that is a Roush Mustang.
You and those Mustangs.
I would love to have a Roush Mustang. I've always wanted one. I just don't ever want to spring for one. And then we'll circle right back around. I'd love to have a Civic Type R.
They are pretty fucking cool.
They're such cool cars. My friend Andrew bought one recently. His excuse to upgrade from his Civic Si was because they had a kid, and so he needed a family car, and the Type R has 4 doors.
Well, and we'll talk more about the Civic Si next week because Anthony and I have both had one. But yeah, the Type R is like the ultimate top-of-the-line, sporty, fast, tuned-out Honda Civic you can get, and it's so awesome.
It's funny how I'm an old woman and I love SUVs or trucks because when I go to Denver, I will get the Jeep Gladiator and I would love that as my sidecar. But then I'm always like, I'm not really a Chrysler person, so I would probably get a Toyota 4Runner. But the reason I don't ever want that as my main car is because you have to get top of the line just to get some basics like heated seats.
Or to get the ride quality that's good for every day.
And that's why I'm happy with my Highlander, because I have a lot more for a little less. Joe!
Yes?
We're to you now.
So, I would say that starting out with my dream cars as a teenager, I remember I used to get Men's Health 18, which was like their teenager-oriented magazine, and they did a featured article one time on...
For masturbation.
Well, yeah, but... So, they did this feature at one time on the Ford Ranger Splash, and it was a trim level that they had on the mid-90s Ford Ranger single cab.
I remember that.
I always love when they do trim levels like that, where they make it sound like it's going to be really cool, but then you get it and it suddenly has like no perks.
So it was this trim level that gave you like a step side bed, and you had like these cool graphics on the side, and the colors were, I think, blue, yellow, or red. And those were cool, like flashy in your face colors. And I thought it'd be so cool to have like this small-ish truck that I could like carry my friends around in and also be like super sporty. So that was one of my dream cars when I was a teen. And then one car that I kind of liked a lot, and one car that my parents actually almost got me for my first car, was a Chevy Blazer. I forget what that trim level is called, but it's like XR2, and it's the Blazer that has the 2 doors and the oversized tires and the spare tire in the back.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
They almost got me one of those, and it's probably a good thing they did, and I probably would have rolled it over at some point.
Those SUVs had a rolling issue, didn't they?
Oh, Blazers in particular.
Yeah, I was like, Blazers in general were just like prone to roll.
Another one that I've had probably ever since I started driving, all the way up until probably now, would be a 1996 Periwinkle Blue Buick Century station wagon. I don't know what it is. I have always had just this love for these big, huge station wagons with the wood trim. They're these huge land yachts. They look so comfortable, carry everything. Like I don't know what it is. I'm just drawn to them. I love them so much. I think it's the same thing with minivans. I love them. I just love big cars like that. It's just like Americana. I don't know what it is.
When you said 96, I was hoping that you were going to say a black 96 Chevy Impala.
I'm not that cool.
That's a hot car, and I still think it's hot. I would still own it today.
It's literally hot because someone stole it. Because every 96 Chevy Impala has been stolen.
Every Impala.
Yes. But it just looks good if you don't deck it out all stupid.
And then I'm going to actually go you one better here, and I'm going to rope in my mom on this one for one dream car that we both shared, and that would be a Pontiac Aztek. Ever since they came out, from the very beginning, all the way until they were killed, my mom and I just loved them. They were so cool. You had they were sporty. You'd sit up high, which was what she liked about them. You had this cooler you could take out of them and take with you anywhere. I don't care what anyone says. I thought they were cool looking.
Anthony, I think we need to vote Joe out somehow.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
Go right ahead.
I can't do this.
We'll start recording in secret.
It is ranked one of the worst cars in history.
By no one that I care about.
I went down to the Pontiac dealership, which first of all was the hard thing to do.
You have to find one.
I gave them $400 and they gave me a brand new Pontiac Aztek.
And you still had $100 left over from your Verizon check.
That's right.
For your first oil change. You said, I don't need that.
I'm going to take this $100 and buy a dildo.
I'm going to buy a used Pontiac Aztek.
So yeah, out of the long list of dream cars I've had throughout history, that was just kind of a quick summary.
What's your current dream car?
If it's Pontiac Aztek, I am cutting you out right now.
No, don't worry, it's not. Well, my current car, we could easily, if we move it to Minneapolis, we could easily take it with us because I do have a crossover. And even though it's not four-wheel drive, I can handle the snow pretty well. But I'd say current dream car, it's tough because I like a lot of the electric cars that are out right now. I just don't know if my lifestyle is ready for 100% electric. Just because there is that range fear, and for it to be your main driver, you have to be really careful how you plan things. But I really do like the Rivian R1S, which is their SUV. It's very cool. It's got some great features, and it's a very attractive car.
So to be fair, I think electric cars are more beneficial in other states. With Oklahoma being such an oil and gas dominant state, we fight back a lot of the electric things because that hurts our oil and gas economy. Yeah, and that's for such a long time, that's the money that the state depended on, and now we're finally diversifying because they're like, shit, we have to. But I think other states, you don't have to plan as hard to have electric cars.
So if we weren't planning for all electric, there is a train of thought that I've had recently. When we went up to Minneapolis to visit and make new friends, two of our friends who are actually Beardos, Zach and Toad, they actually share one car for the household. They share a Toyota Corolla. And it kind of blew my mind because we're from states where you have your own car and it's very car-centric. You have to have it to get anywhere. But they share a car and they do great together. And then so there's a new Toyota that just came out called the Corolla Cross, which is their small crossover SUV, which now has a hybrid version. And I was doing a little bit of research just for fun, and this model gets 42 miles per gallon in the body of a small crossover SUV built by Toyota, which, I mean, that's just 1, 2, 3, boom, boom, boom. That's all the boxes checked of a vehicle that we would need if we were to share a vehicle at some point. So it was an interesting train of thought for me.
By the way, I posted something on social media this week to see if listeners would give us some content about their first cars or their dream cars, and we received a few things. And so for some of the things we added to our topic this week, Scott told us that his first car, Anthony, you'll appreciate this, was a 1990 Mustang.
Ooh, yeah. Fox body.
But his dream car at the time,
Scott, you and I share something.
Was a Volkswagen Beetle.
You and I don't share two things.
The Instagram Barazona said first car was a green Saturn, which was his little turtle.
Aww.
His dream car was a Koenigsegg Gamera hypercar.
I remember those.
And I always think I know what I'm saying, and then I'm like, wait, am I saying it right?
That car was on the game Midtown Madness on PC, and I used to drive it sometimes.
Or he wants to build his own, which he does his own sketches, and he actually has an Instagram page for it, which is at sketches_by_Andrew.
So is he going to design a Beards and Sundries market mobile?
Oh my god. This would be amazing.
Maybe Aaron should submit one as well.
Yeah, Aaron. Okay, competition. Car sketch competition.
Maybe we should all do one too.
We had another message that said their 2002 Corolla was their first car and they drove it to death. And then Shannon said her first car was Anthony's 93 Mustang.
Hi, Shannon.
That was I'm not even going to say second car. That was like my fourth car. So yeah, we'll get more into it, but that was a great car, Shannon.
Jody, of course, we mentioned earlier, wanted his Dodge Viper. And then last, actually it's my friend Leanne, who was in the same class as my older sister. And it's funny, she said her first family car that they shared was a Chevy Corsica, which I weirdly remember that. But her first owned car was a Chevy Cavalier.
Nice.
And I was like, welcome to the Cavalier Club. Is it time for a commercial?
I think it is time for a commercial.
Well, guys, it's fitting that it's Pride Month now. Happy Pride. And we have found a local dealership with a great deal this month on a model that we think we can all enjoy.
And now, for a word from our sponsor, the ChadVrolet Straight Arrow Rainbow Edition.
Hi, I'm ChadVrolet of ChadVrolet Cars and SUVs. Tired of the same old car that doesn't show your fabulousness?
Oh, yeah.
Well, head on down to your local ChadVrolet dealership. We have the right car for you. We've taken our ChadVrolet Straight Arrow model and prideified it for the month of June.
Oh, yeah.
Hi, gays, we're talking to you.
Hey.
Exclusively for the month of June, and if you can prove you're gay, we can get our introductory APR for just you. A number we know you can't ignore. For just $49,000 on a 12-year term at 69%, you can drive right into the sunset. Tired of bigots? This engine will let you run away from any hater. Forget where you park? The rainbow paint's so bright, your car will glow like a unicorn beacon day or night. With this car, you'll easily gobble up the whole Oscar Mayer Wienermobile. And spit them out because this car can't be outdone.
It's crazy.
So head on down to purchase your ChadVrolet Straight Arrow Rainbow Edition today. Exclusively for the month of June. ChadVrolet Straight Arrow Rainbow Edition is only a temporary car. Model name will dissolve after June 30th and car will self-destruct regardless of passengers in it. You can bypass self-destruct by finding and removing embedded bomb and flex capacitor, but car will no longer be insurable and mechanics can't work on it. 69% APR is non-negotiable and you'll basically be committed for life and there's no way out. We've been sued 734 times in the past 2 years and never won every suit. Please buy this car for our profit margins to increase and show we love gay people. They make us rich. Hey guys, make sure you follow and subscribe to our podcast so you can receive a notification every Sunday when a new episode drops.
You know, the Straight Arrow really does drive just like a cock. Like a cock! Oh, like a cock!
I'm really glad ChadVrolet came out with such a gay-friendly vehicle, though I am a little bit worried about July 1st.
I don't know, I think they're going to keep this one going.
The CEO promised this wasn't virtue signaling, and you gotta believe CEOs.
I know. Target's doing so well with their Pride collection.
Normally when I see a car dogtailing down the road, I'm like, oh no, that must have been a terrible accident. But this car, I know it's just driving it because it's Pride Month and it's driving a little crooked.
Sorry, dogtailing?
Yeah, it's called dogtailing or crab walking. You know, when you see the back end of a car, it's misaligned, so the back end
yeah.
is like sideways.
I thought you meant fishtailing, and I was like...
I thought you did too.
Yeah, like you'll see a car driving down the road kind of crooked.
It's always like work trucks.
Or like you'll see this truck and this family's just like windows down, rocking it, thinking they're cool. And I'm like, okay, so your back end is like 3 feet out from where your front end is and you're driving straight. I'm like, I need you to know that that's not normal. Your alignment's so terrible.
But that is the Tetris piece that I need to fill this line in. Oh my god. Well, I can't wait to buy the ChadVrolet Straight Arrow Rainbow Edition.
For only $107,000 with $30,000 down and 4-year lease agreement only for qualifying lessees.
Does anybody have something to check out?
So, very special this week, all 3 of us have something for you guys to check out.
We all 3 made it to see the Savannah Bananas this weekend. I saw them when they were in Oklahoma City, and you guys saw them when they were in Tulsa. And what did you think?
It was 12 out of 10, way better than I thought it would be. And I had pretty high hopes going into it already.
My social anxiety was really high getting into the stadium because I don't like being in crowds of people like that. But it was well worth it. Even with all of that, it was so fun to watch.
It can be a little tricky because all of their tickets are general admission, so it's kind of like first come, first serve. Luckily, I had a coworker who scored us tickets, and she got there early before we got down there, so she saved us seats. Godsend. But we had really good seats on the third baseline, and that's where the Bananas were. They were in that dugout. And so to kind of rewind a little bit and give you guys kind of a background of what we're talking about, the Savannah Bananas are an independent minor league. Are they even a baseball team, or are they just kind of like...
They're a banana ball team because they do not play baseball. They play banana ball.
They do not play standard baseball rules. And that is how they became famous.
We'll just say they perform baseball.
It is the Harlem Globetrotters of baseball.
Exactly. They started in Savannah, Georgia in 2016. They barely got off the ground. They were in trouble for a little while, but then they kind of revamped a couple things. They changed their rules up. They kind of started to not take themselves as seriously. They kind of made it into a show. The tickets are only $25, set price, general admission for everything. You get in there. They do all kinds of like opening acts. They do stuff during the pitches. They do tricks. They do like all this fun stuff. It's awesome.
The little kids races were so cute to me. I thought they were so cute to watch, like all this random stuff the little kids did.
The crawling race with the babies.
And the one where the little girl, she like hit the ball and then all the players were acting like they couldn't catch it at the bases and all. So
Yeah.
she did like this whole run around and the crowd was cheering and it was just so sweet.
I think one of my favorite kid-themed one was the father-son catch,
Oh, yeah.
where they said father-son catch is normally a father and a son playing catch in the yard, but in their version of it, the sons, who were like 5 and 6, got a head start on their dads, and so they get to the first base and they're like rounding. They have to make it all the way to the home plate, so they have to round the entire field, and the dads have to like catch their son, pick them up, and then run across home plate
And finish the run.
Oh my gosh.
And whoever finishes first wins. And it was so funny to watch because there's this one dad and he just scooped his son up, and you could just see this kid like flailing.
I first found this team on TikTok is where we first found them.
And they don't play standard baseball. Like you're not just sitting there watching a normal game. You are completely watching a show, and they put a 2-hour time limit. So they play all 9 innings in 2 hours.
Yep.
Yeah.
Regardless.
Yep.
And I think it's kind of, I'm sure it's rigged a little bit to somebody's going to win. So they never have an overtime and all. But the first hour of it is just pissing around.
Ours went into a tiebreaker.
Really? Ours didn't.
Mm-hmm. I thought it was rigged to make sure they went into one.
That's what I thought at first, but then watching the way that they played and the speed of their pitches, I was like, I don't think this can be rigged. Like, I don't think that you can make it completely rigged.
Because was yours the Savannah Bananas playing the party animals?
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
all they ever play. It's a show for sure.
I didn't know if it was different, but I wore a button-up shirt that literally had bananas on it, and everyone thought that I bought it for the event. And I was like, no, I'm already crazy, and I owned it. And so
Did it come from
I
Target?
No, it came from Amazon. So I just habitually rooted for the bananas, and they won.
See, that's how it's different. Ours went into a sudden, what do they call it? Showdown. And ours ended up differently. The party animals ended up winning.
To the crowd's dismay.
Oh, literally, this little boy next to us started crying into his dad's shoulder when the bananas lost.
Oh, how cute.
I was like,
I'm going to be really honest. I would 100% have tickets down in the lower levels as close as you can to the field, because then you can see everything. I got my tickets same day because we had a third-party contractor that bought a suite or something like that and was offering tickets to us because we're a client of his. And I found out that 4 tickets became available last minute. And so I was like, hey, I don't usually do this, but if you have 2, I would love to go. So I got them. But what sucks is up in a suite area, you actually miss some of the cute stuff that goes on over the edge. So I would say that that's not a great seat for this event. Even though I still enjoyed it, it was a lot of fun.
It's less about watching the sport than it is about watching the sort of pomp and circumstance that's involved with the sport.
It's so much.
we were down right behind the dugout on the third baseline, and it was pretty much a prime area because we had a great view of the home plate umpire, who is famous in his own right.
God, he's so hot.
He's this stocky guy with a big beard, and he knows how to move his hips, and he was dancing behind each pitch, and I was just like,
Haba haba, vroom vroom.
vroom vroom, all right.
I just wanted him to. He could do anything to me. I'd lick him in anywhere that he wants at any point in time.
Anthony was immediately on the apps like, please be available. Please be available.
I didn't even think to check the apps. I should have checked the apps.
You stupid bitch. Half of them have to be gay. No, I'm kidding.
I know. I'm dumb.
It's like a dance team of baseball players.
So if the Savannah Bananas are coming to a town near you, snatch those tickets up. You won't be disappointed.
Even if you have social anxiety, like me.
Sorry. the fart was my favorite.
You're welcome.
Oh, God. Is it time for user content?
I think so.
So I'll go first, and then, Joe, you can talk about your mommy.
Okay.
So I laughed hysterically. This morning, I was sitting at my desk, and we got an email again from George, and they'd listened to the episode from last week. And George said, I did get the call, and I assumed that you were doing exactly what you said you were doing.
Ha!
And he's very curious what year it's actually appropriate to gift a hooker. And he really loved that game.
If you really want to spice it up, it doesn't have to be an anniversary.
I feel like we're at a point in our marriage, like I could gift you a hooker.
I could gift a hooker.
And lastly, Joe, you can have as many pictures of the fridge as you want, but that's as far as he'll go. You can't have it.
You know, why don't you leave us a voicemail saying why I can't have the fridge? Are you feeling a little bespoke about it?
Oh my God.
So, I've got some pretty good user content from my mom. Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom.
So, as one of our most probably dedicated listeners, on Sunday at 6:54 p.m., she sent a photo of our wedding invitations. She made these by hand, and they were absolutely gorgeous.
Gorgeous.
She said with the picture, "You both forgot how much money you saved with these handmade invitations, and don't forget the guest book, which she also made by hand."
I can't believe you forgot to reference that. That's a very important aspect.
She went on to say, "Loved the show despite your forgetfulness," several emojis. And then she said, "BTW, I knew Crystal was for the 15th anniversary, haha." I replied, "Also saved by making my own programs. Can never thank you enough for those beautiful invitations. We got so many compliments on them." And I thought you'd like that game. Were you as sad as Jay that none of the answers turned out to be hookers? She responded, "Of course. He did keep trying though, didn't he?" She then went on to say, "I knew Crystal because I got my mom and dad crystal salt and pepper shakers from the local jewelry store. Used a bunch of my babysitting money, 30 hours worth, to buy them at $15 plus tax. I was 13 going on 14. 12/21, 1961.
George did also mention that he really loved that game. So apparently, if I scream hooker at everything, it's the right game.
But if you're at HR meeting, it's frowned upon.
The key here is to get Jay as checked out of the game as possible.
Well, that won't work this week because Jay made the game.
I hope this game's is kind of interesting and kind of somewhat educational because I learned a couple things while making it.
Well, do you have a name for this game?
I do. Is it game time, Anthony?
I think it's game time.
I think it's game time.
This week's game is called You Do Own Me. This week's game, because we talk so much about cars, I decided to take that inspiration and create the game where you have to decide what company owns this car.
Ooh.
So I have 17 of these, and I think we can fly through them, because I think some of them you'll really guess, and some of them you'll be like, what the hell? You have to know who owns the first one, Acura.
Honda.
Fuck.
Yes!
Now I get it. I thought we were going to get car models.
Ah, you dumb bitch, sorry.
You son of a bitch.
Parent companies are fun.
Gonna lose this game so hard.
Who owns Audi?
Volkswagen.
BMW?
It is Volkswagen.
Fucker.
Who owns Bentley?
Aston Martin?
Nope. You get 3 guesses, by the way.
Jaguar.
Nope.
Rolls-Royce.
Nope.
Mercedes?
Nope. You each get 1 guess left.
Stellantis.
Nope.
Fuck, I don't know. BMW?
Bentley is actually also owned by Volkswagen.
Really?
That was a shocker, and this list is updated. I verified a couple of them because I was like, really? Who owns BMW?
Mercedes-Benz.
Mercedes?
Nope.
Daimler Chrysler,
Nope.
which is no longer a company.
Volkswagen?
Nope.
GMC?
Nope.
Toyota.
Nope.
Damn.
BMW is actually owned by BMW Group.
Oh, fuck off.
Fuck you.
This one you're going to get. Who's Cadillac owned by?
General Motors.
Chevrolet. Oh yeah, General Motors.
Chevrolet is owned by General Motors.
I know it is. Told you I was going to lose this game. Joe knows car manufacturers way better than I do.
So, all right. Who is Chrysler Jeep Dodge owned by?
Stellantis.
General Motors.
It is Stellantis.
What the fuck is a Stellantis?
Stellantis is the group that Daimler, Chrysler, and merged into in
2021.
Oh, 2021. It is super new. Okay.
So 2021 is when they merged Fiat Chrysler.
That's right.
With Peugeot.
It's pronounced Peugeot.
Peugeot. Sorry, it is Peugeot. You're right.
Bitch, I know that.
Nope, you're right.
Do I get a point?
That one. I always get that wrong. How about I give you half a point?
Hell yeah, I won by half a point one time.
I know.
Turning this thing around, beardos.
Okay.
Who's Ford owned by?
Ford Motor Company.
Yes!
Fuck off.
I got one.
I know the answer if someone else comes up.
Who is Genesis owned by?
Hyundai.
Yep. Joe got it. Who is Infiniti owned by?
Nissan.
Oh, motherfucker.
So I will tell you that technically Renault, Nissan, and Mitsubishi Alliance own it. But yes, I will give you Nissan. I did not know that they had an alliance now for this stuff.
Why would you ally yourself with Mitsubishi? Well, I guess they're way more prevalent outside the U.S.
Who is Jaguar owned by?
Ford Motor Company.
Ford.
No.
What?
Nope.
Volkswagen?
Nope.
Jaguar? Daimler Chrysler Group?
Nope. This is where I learned.
Fuck, then I have no idea.
I thought it was Ford.
I did too, and I was like, oh.
I guess not anymore.
That's kind of wild.
The Jaguar sedan is literally a rebadged Ford Fusion.
You would think.
It can't be BMW.
It's not. Sorry. Joe, you have one more, right?
Yeah. Who would they have passed it off to?
Joe, this actually happened in 2008.
I guess they're owned by... Oh, wait! Aren't they owned by Land Rover?
Nope.
Who are they owned by?
Tata Motors.
Really?
I have checked 3 times. So right now, we've gotten 11 so far, and the score is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for Joe, 1.5 for Anthony.
Fuck yeah! All right.
And you know what? I'm going to give me 3 points.
Hey!
Because you didn't get 3 right.
Oh, is that how this game's gonna go?
Yep, making it up as I go.
Then that means that I won last week's game.
That's what's nice about this game.
Hooker.
Well, you should have made those rules. Should have made those rules a week ago. Who's Kia owned by?
Hyundai?
It is.
Oh, I wanted to guess that, but I should have used a guess. I should have just used a guess because I thought Hyundai, but I wasn't 100% sure.
Yeah, that sucks for you.
Is it Tata?
No. Tatas? Who owns Discovery and Defender?
Jaguar Land Rover.
Tata Motors.
So technically, it is Tata Motors. They are also retiring the Land Rover name.
Ooh.
I knew that.
Wow, Anthony, look at you go.
Turn it around, turn around. I'm still going to lose, though.
Who owns Lexus?
Toyota.
Joe just barely got it. Who is Maserati owned by?
Aston Martin.
No.
Ford Motor Company.
Lamborghini.
Nope.
Alfa Romeo.
Nope. Both got one guess left.
Renault?
Nope.
I want a bonus guess. I won't even take the point, but I want a bonus guess.
Okay.
Let's go with BMW.
What's your bonus guess, Joe?
Opel?
Nope.
Was it Britney Spears?
Yes. Would you believe that Maserati is also owned by Stellantis?
Yes.
It's why they're ranked so low.
I was gonna say they're not great anymore.
It is Stellantis is what owns Chrysler Jeep Dodge, which
Yeah.
Okay.
who owns Volvo?
Volkswagen.
Nope.
BMW.
Nope. I threw this one in here to be a bitch.
Peugeot.
No.
Volvo Motor Company.
Nope.
The International Co-op of English Teachers.
Fantastic guess, but no.
Ford Motor Company.
Nope.
Is Volvo owned by Saab?
No.
Damn it.
Ooh, good guess.
Volvo is owned by, I want to say the full name. It is owned by Zhejiang Geely Holding Group.
Jay,
How long has it been since you've turned your back on the Lord?
I really can't wait to make next week's game.
I know, I make these games because I always lose them, so I'm like, I gotta be a bitch. Joe, you're still winning. Bitches, last question. Who owns Tesla?
Tesla.
Yes!
I hate it here.
Who owns Tesla? People that love to tell you that they own a Tesla. People that love body panel gaps in their automotive cars. People that love bad panel fits.
People that love spontaneous battery fires.
Joe, you won with 7.
Hey, what did I end up with, actually?
Because I stumped you, I got second place with 5.
Oh, fuck off.
And Anthony... and Anthony got 4.5.
Jay got 5 out of 6 cars and balls.
I think that one answer that you had that was like the movie Jiggly was the owner or whatever the fuck it was. I think you should get a half a point taken away so you and I time. Because that was a stupid fucking question.
It's a reasonable question. Who owns a company? It's public record.
Well, Beardos, the music's coming back on and it's time for us to go. But go call our hotline real quick and leave us a voicemail. That number is 405-999-2242.
Just in case you didn't hear, it's 405-999-2242.
And Jay, just to piggyback off that, the number for our hotline is 405-999-2242. It's actually where you can leave a voicemail.
Actually, you guys, if you want to write down my credit card number, that credit card number is 405-999-2242. If you call it, you get access to the whole balance.
And my social security number is 405-999-2242.
And the code into my garage is 405-999-2242.
And the code into my chastity belt is 405-999-2242.
And the number of unread Grindr notifications I have is 405-999-2242. And as usual, you've turned us over and really revved our engines. If you want to help us out, go and subscribe to our podcast so you can get reminders every Sunday when we release a new episode. We also post frequent updates on our social media for any additional sundries that we may add to the market. Also, we had so much fun with this topic this week that we've decided to continue this topic next week. So, if you'd like to submit any input on anything we've covered this week or anything you want to hear about next week, Jay has some details for you on how you can.
And don't forget to rate us 5 out of 6 balls and leave a review. We'd love to hear from you, and those ratings are what get us found by more listeners. And we would be honored if you could help us grow by doing that simple task. Just each one of you telling one friend about the podcast will double our growth.
Guys, I have stepped up my social media game, and I'm posting a lot. So I need you to start posting back, because we love to read it. It's been a lot of fun. You can find us posting on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok. You can comment, make suggestions. We really do want to hear from you. We like that. Email us at beardsandsundries@gmail.com for more ideas.
So, from all of us here at the Beards and Sundries Market, make sure to leave us a voicemail at our hotline. It's 405-999-2242. And then when you're done and you hang up the phone, make sure to...
start your engines and love yourself.
Because we are already waiting for you to leave us a voicemail at 405-999-2242.
Love you!
Bye!
Bye!
Bye! We love you so much!